It's time to start a couple more types of plants. Actually, I've already started one set of these type of plants they're called Ranunculus. They are gorgeous flowers. They will be in the earlier part of the summer, late spring, hopefully. This is from a company called Eden Brothers. And one thing I noticed last year, because I got some from them and Easy to Grow last year, the ones that come from Eden Brothers tend to be a lot smaller corms, which is fine. They should still grow into good-sized plants, but we're going to do the same thing with these that we did with the other ones that I started the pre-sprouting process on. I don't remember exactly how long ago, maybe 3 weeks, but I'll show you how they're doing. So far they're looking pretty good, but the basic process is you soften them up in some water. So I'm just dumping them in a bowl of water, and you leave them sit here in the water. I'm sorry, the lighting is pretty bad. Let's see if I can get it a little better. Okay, that's mildly better. But you basically put them in a bowl with water and leave them sit here for 3, maybe 4 hours. And what starts off looking really dried out and kind of a darker brown over the course of those 3 or so hours will basically like rehydrate and plump up and turn a little bit lighter brown. And that's when they're ready to then either plant, if you're doing this later in the spring, or do what's called the pre-sprouting process, which I did in another video, if you'd like to check that out. But this year so I grew some of these last year and I just loved them. They were really pretty. I kind of had a hit and a miss with them last year. The second set that I started last year, I think got way too wet out in the bed that I had put them in, and they grew foliage, but they never really bloomed. So I think that it was a combination of they had a little more shade than they really liked throughout the day, and it just was really wet. So that these plants do not like. And typically what you should be able to do in my region, these will not last over the winter. They will get too wet, and between the freeze thaw and the moisture, they will rot. But you can dig them up once they are done doing what they do, kind of like bulbs, but these are called corms. But you can dig them up after they're all done and the plants are dying off, and sit them out, let them dry, and save them in a box or a bag through the winter, and then use them again the next year. And a lot of times if they're in a place where they're happy, they'll actually multiply, and then you never even have to buy them again. So that's what I'm hoping to get to. This past year I did have kind of a miss with that, and so this year I'm really hoping to do a better job of where I plant them so that I can get corms to keep for next year. Something else I'm going to try are some spring anemones, and you do a similar thing. So there's the little bulbs in there. They look like little dried acorns, kind of, to me, as far as their shape. Let me get them all out of the bag. So you do the same thing as far as getting them rehydrated. They come pretty dry looking. This is what they look like. Like I said, it kind of, to me, sort of looks like an acorn, but it's the same basic idea. You could call it a bulb, or I don't know, these may also be called corms. Like I said, this is my first year trying these. But we're gonna soak them, let them rehydrate, and then we will put them in a container with some potting soil and leave them sit to grow some roots. And let me move around here and I'll show you what the ones look like for the ranunculus that I started this process with I'll have to look, but I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So here they are. They are looking really good. A couple of the colors have developed some foliage a little faster than the others, but it looks like in every section I do have some greenery getting going. And last year what I did was, as soon as I saw that they were developing little roots, I went ahead and pulled them out and put them in their own pots. This year, I was watching Flower Hill Farms video about her ranunculus that she was starting, and she just left them in this tray a little longer till they actually had turned into kind of like this middle section, more of like a plant. So that's what I've decided to try this year, because I'm growing a lot more things inside, starting from seed this year. So just even like as a space saver, And then in another week or two, I will, once everybody has kind of grown up and looked more like this, then I will go through and separate them and put them in their own little pots, and then let them grow on for a little while longer until it's safe to plant them outside. So here we go, starting another round of pre-sprouting. This time I'm going to include some ranunculus, and I'm going to try some spring anemones. Thanks for joining me here today in Aunt Susan's garden.